नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है सी हेमंत गुप्ता एंड इस तीसरे पार्ट ऑफ एमएसएमई ऑर्डिनेंस के रिलेशन में आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग नेक्स्ट 5 सेक्शंस विच विल बी सेक्शन 54G to section 54K. Okay, so I'll start with section 54G. Section 54G basically talks about list of claims and preliminary information memorandum. It states that corporate debtor will, within 2 days of insolvency commencement date, will give to RP the following things, which is a list of claims verified by him along with detail of security interest and any guarantee, plus preliminary information memorandum informing the RP about detail of corporate debtor. So the content of PIM will be specified later on in the regulation. The loss suffered by any person because of wrong information given by corporate debtor or factually incorrect or misleading information given in either list of creditor or preliminary information memorandum will have to be borne by promoter, director or employee of corporate debtor or anyone who has authorized the list to be issued or that preliminary information memorandum to be issued. However, if these documents have been issued without the consent of anybody, then that person, even though director, promoter or employee of CD, will not be held liable for that. Further, this section goes on to say if any person has suffered the loss, he has the opportunity or he has the option to go to the court to claim and establish the loss and claim reimbursement on account of that loss which might have been incurred by him due to such omission or misinformation or misleading information. Now moving on to section 54H, it basically talks about management of affair of corporate debtor. So here in this MSME ordinance, it's very clear the management of corporate debtor will remain with the corporate debtor and insolvency resolution professional or resolution professional in this case will only be a supervisory capacity. So during this pre-packaged insolvency resolution period, management of corporate debtor will vest with board of director or partners of the corporate debtor. Board of director or partner, as the case may be, shall preserve the corporate debtor as a going concern. Partners, directors, they need to discharge their obligation or execute their contractual or statutory rights and duties as existing earlier. So there will be a supervision of COC and intervention of resolution professional at appropriate time and appropriate places. But yes, predominantly corporate debtors management will remain with it as it was before. Now moving on to section 54I. Section 54I talks about committee of creditors. It basically states that resolution professional within 7 days of insolvency commencement date, based on preliminary information and list of creditor provided by corporate debtor, he will form a committee of creditor. However, the composition of COC may be altered based on further information at a later date. There is no issue in that. However, any change in constitution will not alter the decision taken in earlier COC meeting. Again, the first meeting of COC will have to be done within 7 days of constitution of COC, and then provision of section 21 in relation to collection of claim. Provision of section 21 will apply mutatis mutandis except in relation to section 21 subsection 1, which relates to collection of claim. However, there is a reference to resolution professional in section 21 subsection 9 and subsection 10. That reference will be meant as a corporate debtor instead of resolution professional. So any information is to be sought by COC, that has to be sought by corporate debtor, not by resolution professional. Now moving on to section 54J, it basically talks about vesting of corporate debtor in resolution professional or to resolution professional. So basically, if COC by 60% of vote in value decides that affair of corporate debtor are not being conducted in a proper manner, then they may decide to hand over the possession or vesting of control to resolution professional from corporate debtor, and resolution professional will file a suitable application with NCLT for transfer of this, for vesting of this right. If adjudicating authorities of the opinion that affair of corporate debtor are being conducted in a fraudulent manner or mismanagement of corporate debtor is there, then it may pass an order vesting of control to resolution professional. Upon such order, the provision of section 14 subsection 2 subsection 2A, that is in relation to essential goods, section 7 management of affair of corporate debtor, section 7 is section 17 management of affair of corporate debtor, section 18 subclause E to subclause G, IM custody of corporate debtor, etc. Section 19, section 20 personal corporation and going concern concept, section 25 subsection 1, section 25 subsection 2 clause A to C relating to duties of RP and presence and protection of assets of corporate debtor, section 28 COC, seeking COC approval for certain actions. See, these all provision will be applicable mutatis mutandis till the pre-package insolvency resolution process is in progress. Okay, so now moving on to section 54K. It talks about consideration and approval of resolution plan. So what will happen? It basically talks about there will be a base resolution plan submitted by corporate debtor under section 54A within 2 days of insolvency commencement date to IRP, to resolution professional, and RP will submit the same plan to COC as and when COC is constituted and meeting is convened. So COC will give an opportunity to corporate debtor to revise the base resolution plan prior to approval or prior to inviting prospective resolution applicant to give an alternate plan. So resolution plan or base resolution plan will have to conform to provision of section 30 subsection 1 subsection 2 subsection 5. COC may approve the plan for submission to adjudicating authority if and only if OC's claims are not impaired. Okay, OC's claim have to be fully satisfied. However, if COC does not approve the base resolution plan or base resolution plan impairs the OC claim, then what will happen? Then RP will invite the new applicant, prospective resolution applicant, to submit a competing plan. So competing applicant or prospective resolution applicant will fulfill the eligibility criteria as specified by the COC in COC meeting. RP will give to PRA evaluation matrix and information memorandum as which would be required for them to submit their plan. So again, compatibility of plan has to be there with section 30 subsection 2 before it is being put to COC for voting. Once the plan is put before the COC for voting, the COC will evaluate and select the best plan. However, there is a slight difference in comparison to CIRP. So plan which is significantly better than base resolution plan. What is significantly better will be covered in regulation. That plan will be selected. Okay, if the plan is not significantly better, so what will happen? The base resolution competing, then there will be a competing criteria with respect to base resolution plan that also has to be specified by the COC. However, if the resolution plan under as base resolution plan or a competing plan is selected, then that plan will be sent to adjudicating authority for its approval. However, if no such plan is selected, then IRP will have to file for termination of prepackaged insolvency resolution process. So approval of plan has to be given by COC with minimum 66% voting in favor of plan. 66% will be by value, not in numbers. However, if there is an impairment in any claim owned by corporate debtor, okay, so in that case COC may ask the corporate debtor to dilute its shareholding, its profit sharing ratio, voting, or control in corporate debtor. So RP will submit the approved resolution plan to adjudicating authority for approval. So there are a couple of explanations also in this section which says that corporate debtor being a resolution applicant can submit the resolution plan either individually by himself or in collaboration with somebody else. And second, what impairment means? Impairment means if the resolution plan is not providing for full payment to any confirmed claims. So if any claim is there, if there is any reduction in that value, the impairment will be considered. So that's it in this video from me. So I will be covering the remaining section of this ordinance, which is section 54L to 54P, in my next video. Thank you very much for watching this video.